YouTube friends, this is Elizabeth J with an S, and today I am going to talk to you about my teacher planner setup. As you can see, I have here my traveler's notebook, which I very briefly have gone over in my planner lineup, but I wanted to talk to you about how I am using a traveler's notebook system as my teacher planner. Now last year I used an Erin Condren teacher planner, the 9x10 size lesson planner, and I found it very useful to have as someone who really likes to plan, but I found it extremely bulky and I was not interested in coiling and recoiling for every term or every semester or every quarter. I uncoiled it and recoiled it right at the beginning, but I was not interested in pulling pages out and all of this. So I decided to try a traveler's notebook system and use petite planners to do my lesson planning this year. So in my notebook, I don't need that. So first of all, let me start with the folio or the traveler's notebook cover. I'm using a Foxy Fix that I bought on a buy-sell trade group, and it is Wanderlust leather in the color butterscotch. I really love it, but I think I would prefer to have something that would not get as destroyed as quickly. I have scotch guarded it, but you know, wear and tear happens. I think I'd like to keep this in better condition, so I think I may switch up my my cover for something plastic or something that I could wipe, I think a little better. Anyway, that's for another video. So in this, I have a monthly petite planner, and this monthly comes from Oh Hello Stationery. And basically what I've done in here is I have put in some stickers from Planning with Kay that I happen to have. So I put them in for future planning for the whole school year, August through July, which is my school year where I teach. Then I have my months. So there's August, September, October. I'm using this a lot for personal dates in conjunction with important school dates. So now we're in October. These stickers I got from someone on Etsy, which I can't remember who. I want to say Grace Plans. And then this sticker was from an Erin Condren monthly sticker kit that I had. I didn't really buy new stickers for this. I kind of want to be a bit minimal in my lesson planning. I only used stickers that I already had purchased. So this is a magnetic page marker from Erin Condren, so I use that for the month I'm in. You can just see that I've got my year set up and ready to go. This planner is an 18-month planner, so there are some empty months that I will not be using, but it was very inexpensive, so I found that a little bit more palatable on the pocket, I would say. So that's the monthly planner. The next petite that I have in here is an Erin Condren bullet journal style petite folio planner, and in here I have my personal sort of things. I've got my timetable in here. I've got my resources and passwords, with my professional development that I've done, and then I have a monthly sort of overview for the year again, but this is now strictly school specific dates. Now these stickers, these vertical stickers, I had from a different project from Planning with Kay. If I didn't have them, I probably wouldn't have used them. I would have just written the numbers in a vertical way. And then because I teach both secondary and prep school lessons, and they have different calendars, which let me tell you is not fun, I decided to use some stickers that I had from Kate Plans. Planner Kate, sorry. These labels are from Planner Kate, And so I've just put on the dates that I know, which is mostly for the first term. That is September through December. And then the end of the term is there. So that way I kind of know what's happening as far as dates that I need to know where I might miss lessons. And so I'm not planning all these extravagant science lessons and then not have a class or half a class. So for example, in October, we just had inter-house athletics, which was, so in the school that I'm in, we have 4 houses and all the students and teachers are sorted into a house. No, not by a sorting hat, but we're just put into a house based on our interests and skills and that sort of thing. Anyway, so in the prep school, we had the inter-house athletics, which is like track and field events. And so that meant that Tuesday I was going to be missing my period 7 and 8 classes, which I actually do teach both of those lessons. So that meant I didn't have to plan for those lessons. That is just an example. Right now we're on half term. Today is the 10th. It's the first day of half term, and that's going to last until the 21st. And then when we come back in secondary school, we're going to have inter-house verse speaking. So again, I'll probably miss some lessons on that particular day, which I think is the 24th of October. So that's just how I'm using this page. It informs my planning rather than me going through this calendar for both secondary and prep school. Everything is just listed here for me. I find it much easier to see this visual than be trying to find dates on that other one. So I take the dates from this, which is what the school prints out for the parents, the calendar term of events, and our term started on the 27th of August, ends on the 11th of December. So it's a very long term, which is why we have an extended half-term break. Much needed, I must say. But it's hard to find things in this kind of setup, so I prefer to look at things like this. And again, I've got an Erin Condren magnetic page marker. It is not super strong, so it only works for 1 page. And so I have the whole year already set up with this calendar style, ready to go through June. We end the last week in June or something along those lines, I believe. Then I have my form group or my homeroom. We have to do report writing at the end of the term. So I just like to write some things down. That way I don't have to keep asking them. And then I have several students that I am mentoring as far as their college application process. So I have some pages, spare pages for that as well. Making sure they're taking their SATs on time, which schools are they applying to, what are the stats for the schools, that kind, what are the deadlines for those schools. So that's what I have there. So I haven't used many pages in this. I think probably this journal will take me through the entire school year, but I find that I do need to be writing some things down like that. So that is the second of the petites in my teacher planner traveler's notebook. Now, the third thing that I have in here is my actual lesson planning. And I've just got that little binder clip there because there's a number of pages already in here. So let me just show you how I'm using this. This is the Erin Condren Dateless Daily Planner. So I purchased 5 of these. Since I don't live in the US, it's difficult for me to get Erin Condren products where I live because the postal service where I live is really bad. So I buy everything when I'm in the US over the summer. So I purchased 5 of these because I had mapped out my school year and I knew that's the number of pages that I would need. So basically what I have done is I have set up, and I'll just start with a random day, the 9th of, I believe this is September. So what I've done is I have used a spread like this to represent one day. As you can see here, I have 4 lessons on a Monday, and then I have some space at the bottom to jot some notes down. So what I do is I go in a week in advance, as I've done with these blank pages, and I put some washi tape to create my divisions, and I do that for the whole week. So this is the week that I come back from half term. I've already done the washi tape in yellow. It's kind of nice to have a different color in there. Everything being pink is not my super favorite. This plain washi tape I purchased from Jet Pens. It's the MT solid washi tape that is thin. It's about 0.7 or 7 millimeters, I think, is the measurement for this washi tape. So it's nice. It actually is the same size as the box that is already on the page. So I'm covering the box and just creating the space here. Now I decided to do the double space because I found that in the Erin Condren teacher planner, that one little square was just not enough, whether I was handwriting my lesson plans or doing the post-it notes. The post-it notes I found to be better because I could put more in a smaller font, but sometimes the font was so small. So that's why I decided to spread out into sort of 2 blocks of space if needed. And for most of the time, I do need the 2 blocks of space. So then I have the washi tape. Then I go in and I put my dates on each page. And again, I think these are from Grace Plans. The stickers come in like sort of the same color that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then there are date stickers that go in the space provided. And so I just set up the week and then I know where I am. You can see there's Tuesday, same color. The numbers are different colors, but that's fine for me. So once I've got that, that's basically the prep. Then I am going to go in and do my actual lesson plan. So as you can see, I use Post-it notes to type my lesson plans up. I find my handwriting to be really crappy. As you can see, it's just and so I like to type out my lesson plans. I do that because I have multiple lessons of the same subject, but sometimes different classes are at different points. So if I've already typed it up once, then I just copy paste for the second class. Maybe I'll have a lesson on a Friday for one class and then it'll be on a Monday or Tuesday for the other class. And so then I'm just copy pasting what I've done with the Friday class and I'll do that with the Tuesday class. So what I want to do now is show you how I do my Post-it notes, and then we can talk about the project tracker, which I have. Okay, so what you see here is my computer screen for the way that I do my lesson plans. What I first did was I set up the numbers, and you can follow the pointer. So I use the program Numbers. On a Windows machine, you would use the program Excel and do the same exact thing. And in fact, if I want to, I can send myself this particular program, the lesson plans, and I can open them on my school computer, which is a Windows program, and it works. But for some reason, going from Excel to Numbers doesn't work. So I have to do it in Numbers and then I can read it in Excel. Anyway, so what I've done is I set up this these columns and rows. So I've got these are my year 8 students, which is grade 7 in the United States, and I am teaching them chemistry and biology. So I have 2 classes of chemistry and 2 classes of biology. Only one of them overlap, and I teach those lessons twice a week. So I have one class for 2 lessons of chemistry. I have one class for 2 lessons of bio, and I have the third year 8 class for 4 lessons a week. 2 are biology and 2 are chemistry. So that's just kind of my schedule for year 8s. So what I have done is I have set up these columns. So here's column A, there's column, it's a text box, there's column B, and column C. And that was A, C, and E right here. A, C, and E, with B and D kind of the borders that are giving us a break in between. And this box, A1, is the size of the Post-it note. So I just measured the Post-it notes, which typically are 2 by 2 inches. those are the Post-it notes that I use. And so I've set up this box to be just about 2 by 2 inches, perhaps a little bit larger just because of layout. And then this box B is 2 inches long with some small break in between. And again, then I've got another column and row that's 2 by 2, etc. for column E1, the same. So let me see if I have a blank one in here. Probably not. No blank ones, but that's fine. You get the idea. So the text typically is not in there. And so what I've done is, you can see here in blue, what I do is I have a text box that now I type my text in. So in the text box, I put the class, the subject, what week I'm in, which lesson it is, and then the classroom. And because I have double space in my petite planner, I can have page 1, Post-it note, and page 2. For this particular lesson, I only needed the 1, but now for this lesson, which was the second lesson of the week for this class doing biology, I needed 2 because I don't want my font to be so small that I can barely read it. Okay, my eyes are bad enough as it is. I don't need to make them worse. So that is my setup. And so what I typically do is, once I have typed out the lesson plans in the text boxes and place them in the correct location, I then print this document out on a page. And then I take my Post-it notes according to the color that I'm using for a particular class. So for example, I have a red Post-it note for my year 10 biology class. I have an orange Post-it note for my year 11 biology class. I have blue Post-it notes for chemistry. I have pink Post-it notes for my year 7 science. And then I have yellow Post-it notes for my year 8 biology class. So each type of prep that I have is color coded. So I'll put my Post-it notes in colors and then on top, exactly on top of the box. And I'll show you all of this. I'm just explaining it now. Exactly on top of the box. And then I print it again. So I know that exactly where I've put these words will now print on the Post-it note. And I just have an inkjet printer and it works really, really well. So the page goes through, the Post-it notes get printed, and then I peel off the Post-it notes and stick them in my petite planner, which I'm using as my lesson planner. So here you can see I have printed out this particular page here on this document. Now this is an old sample. This is from week 4. So I'm not going to do a layout of the whole entire page, but I will do 1 or 2 so you get the idea. So this is the document that I'm now going to work from to put my Post-it notes on and then reprint this exact information. So let me get rid of my computer and we will continue. So here I have the Post-it notes that I'm using. These are the super sticky. I prefer them because the stickiness is on almost all of the back, as you can see here. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's about 2/3 of the way on the back. It's not just the top 1/3, which I prefer because it will stick in the book with more adhesive. So I purchased a whole bunch of these as well. So this is my year 8 bio, which is this yellow color, and my year 8 chemistry, which is this blue color. So I'm just gonna do 2 or 3 to show you how it works and then print it again. So basically I just take my Post-it and I put it within the boundaries of the box, just like that. And here is my year 8 chemistry. So this is another one. So this is page 1. And this is page 2 of the same lesson. And that's all I'm gonna do for this. I don't wanna waste the Post-it notes because I can't get these where I am. I have to only buy them in the US. So typically, again, that's another thing I would stock up on when I am visiting family. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to then put this back into my inkjet printer, print this same exact page, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so here we go. You can see that basically it's the same information. There was a little bit of ink contact on this Post-it note only because I had bent the page up, so it did catch a little bit of the cartridge. But here you can see none of that happened, and so if this does happen, it's okay, inconsequential to me. I just make sure it dries before I touch it, otherwise it'll rub. So then I have my my modified teacher planner. I pull off my sticky note and I will stick it in the correct location, just like this, under my washi tape. Okay, that one only had one Post-it note. This one had 2. Again, I'll just take it and stick it under. But, oops. Okay, I do like things a little even. I try not to stress too much on nitty-gritty details, but you know, I do like things to be a bit even. Okay, stick it there. And then I've done I basically planned my whole week on a weekend day. It probably takes me about 2 hours. I've already know what I'm doing. I'm just now typing things up and maybe writing some handouts or finding some handouts that I'm going to use. Downloading YouTube videos and saving them on my Google Drive, so I'll just have them easily accessible at school. So the actual typing of the plans doesn't take very long because I already know what I'm doing, and putting them in the book, and then just the preparation of the plans is what can take a little bit of time. So that's how I am using the daily agenda. This is called the Customizable Daily Agenda from Erin Condren. This has been, I want to say, 11 weeks of school. Okay, I'm not sure how many weeks of school it's been. Let me just check. I have it written here in my monthly. No. Okay, it's been 7 weeks of school. So week 8, I have off, so we'll start up again in week 9. And basically I was able to fit 9 weeks of school into this. And I'm only using this for school days. So I'm not including half-term weeks. I'm not including term break weeks like Christmas break and Easter break. I'm only using this for school days when I have lesson plans. So that cuts down on if I included all those other weeks, I'd probably need 10 of these notebooks because, as I said, I'm using a 2-page spread equivalent to 1 day. So I've sort of counted ahead just to make sure I'm not going to overspend, and I know 5 will be fine. And that's how I use this notebook for my lesson planner. So now what else do I have in, and yes, this is the large magnetic marker. I usually have this tucked on the page that I am teaching from. So yesterday was Wednesday the 9th. Due to various school events, I only had 2 lessons that I was teaching. So all of this other stuff were different things that I needed to do. So I have this magnetic marker just stuck on the page that I'm actually teaching from. And so I'm not flipping through all of these pages. I do use this binder clip just to keep everything secure like that. And that's how I use this. All right, so what else do I have in the traveler's notebook? Let's move that out of the way. And now we can move this out of the way. Done with that. In the traveler's notebook, I also have a project tracker. And as you can see, this is not Erin Condren. This is Oh Hello Stationery. Again, I know Erin Condren did come out with a checklist book, but hers is $14, and I believe this was like $5 or $6. And really, for my purpose, it's fine. I'm not doing grades, just doing a checklist of what students have handed into me. So I've got all my classes in here, and basically it's for, did students turn in homework? Because I normally do not grade things the same day that I get them. So especially if they're giving me their notebooks, I can have all of the year 8 biology notebooks. That's like 40 notebooks. I'm not carrying those home, so they're getting marked in school. So when I have time is when I mark them. So I just tick and make sure that I received the homework at the beginning. So let's say, for example, here, this particular class, I gave them exercise 3.1 at a certain point in time. This student never handed anything into me. All of these did it. These students, I had to return it to them because they didn't do it properly, so they didn't get a grade. And yeah, so that's basically how I'm using this particular book. That works for me because last year I didn't really check to see right away if they were handing me in the homework, and then I would find students hadn't handed homework in, but then it would be a whole week before I actually discovered it. So this has been keeping me a bit more accountable for my own purposes. So that's the project tracker, and I mean, yes, it is a bit, this is one whole entire class, so you might think, that's quite a lot of space that I'm using, but I did purchase several of these project trackers. So this could be like term 1 project tracker, and then term 2, term 3, etc. if I need to do that. So that is the project tracker. And then finally, the last petite that I have in my teacher planner is the Erin Condren wellness log. So the reason why I have the wellness log in here is because I am tracking steps and how I'm feeling and what I'm eating for a bunch of different reasons. So one thing that I am doing is I am on a, I want to say, lazy keto diet. So which by the way is working really well for me. So if you are interested in keto, I would say definitely research it to find out more about it because it's really working. Okay, so here was last week's, the way I'm setting it up. I have some stamps that I'm using. I'm really into stamps, not really into stickers. So different medication slash supplements, not really medication, supplements that I take first thing in the morning. If I had a BM, because on the keto, what I've discovered is you get really constipated. So I want to know, like, is this happening on a regular basis? Which I'm happy to report after 6 weeks that it's quite regular. So I think your body just has to kind of get used to the no carb scenario and how to process that digestively. And then all is well. So in order to help myself, I was using laxative, but I haven't had to use that in a couple weeks. So yay for me. And then drinking lots of water, how many hours I'm sleeping. If I get migraines and if I took migraine meds, I am recording that as well. Also, menstrual things and stuff like that. So this is all recording all of that. And then my food. So this is why it's going with me. Number one, it's a petite. It could stay at home, but I prefer to write things right away rather than leave it and then I forget. So that way I'm writing my lunch. If I took a snack, that kind of thing, it's going in right away into the lunch column. And so basically that's how I'm using this. Today is Thursday and I have not written breakfast, but I will. That's all I've eaten today. So, and then again, I'm using the Erin Condren magnetic page marker. Whether it's the big one or the small one, it only is able to be used with one page inside. So it's not like I can stick a whole bunch of pages and like clip them together. So if I wanted to do that, I'd have to use a binder clip. But that's basically how I'm using the wellness log. And finally, I have these little pouches that I really like having in the traveler's notebook. Number one, I've got our staff directory tucked in here, so I have everybody's phone numbers. I don't have to have them in my phone if I don't need them. And then I've got these label stickers from Planner Kate. And then I've got some pens. And the only pens I use in my petites are these Ink Joy gel pens. And I made the mistake of purchasing the 0.7 nib this year. I did have some leftover 0.5s, and I didn't realize it until I started using them that I don't like the medium size nib. I like the fine nib, so I'll have to purchase more fine point pens, but okay, that's a minimal issue. I'm using them. I paid for them. So I keep those in this pouch, and let me put everything in and you can see how thick it is. I really enjoy having this and carrying it around. I find it is fat, but not as bulky and definitely not as heavy as the Erin Condren teacher planner that I had last year. By the end of the year, it was all of the post-it notes, all of the post-it notes, some of the stickers that I had used. It all just became super, super heavy to carry around. And I need to carry this teacher planner around. There's no way that this is sitting on a desk in a classroom. Number one, it's got passwords and stuff in there, but number two, I move from class to class. Almost every lesson that I have for any one particular class is in a different room. I mean, it's a pain in the neck, let me tell you. I wish I could just be in one room and the kids come to me, but okay, that's not the nature of where I work, so it is what it is. Let me just accept that situation. So I have to basically work around that. And the teacher planner was quite bulky. Erin Condren teacher planner was quite bulky, and so I decided to try this system, which I really love. It's really working out for me well. This is how wide the traveler's notebook is. Not super wide. I carry it around in my teacher bag, and I think it's great. So if you are thinking about using this type of system for teacher planning, it's working for me. I can't recommend it enough. Like I said, I don't think I would use the leather cover. I think that would be more for like business or you know, a mom who is using a traveler's notebook and maybe not putting it on such dirty surfaces all the time. So I probably will switch my cover out at some point, but I really do like this cover, so of course I'm going to keep it for other things. But yeah, so that's the one thing that I would change is the actual cover of this. Anyway, I think that is all I need to share on my teacher planner. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. I know it was a bit long, but anyway, I had a lot to talk about being a teacher. Lots to say about the products that I use. If you don't have good products, you're not going to enjoy teaching. I mean, that's just how I feel. So I will see you around again in the next video, where I think I'm going to talk about my Erin Condren life planner and how I'm using that for my personal projects. So please like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and comment below if you think you might want to switch over to this type of system.